Let's look at how to find yourself. Now, this is not the limited self, the person who you think you are, but what I'm talking about is the expansive true nature of your true self. So Robert Adams says there's only one way to bring peace to the world. There's only one way to bring peace to yourself. There's only one way to overcome problems. There's only one way to find yourself, and that way is to realize that everything is consciousness. So everything is consciousness, but what is consciousness? Now, if you look it up in the dictionary, it'll say that firstly, it's the quality or state of being aware, especially of something within oneself. I'd say, secondly, it's the state or fact of being conscious of an external object, state, or fact. And then thirdly, it'll simply state that it's awareness. So I think the third explanation as awareness is the most accurate because the first saying it's being aware is true, but it says especially of something within oneself, and the second says especially of external objects. But in the true state of awareness, there is no internal or external. There's just awareness. So let's look at consciousness as pure formless awareness. So if everything is consciousness and consciousness is pure formless awareness and you are consciousness, then you are pure formless awareness. You are not the body. The body is a vehicle for formless awareness to experience life, but the body itself is made up of nothingness. When you get down to the building blocks, on an atomic and a subatomic level, there is no form. There's just space. So how can you find yourself when yourself is formless, when there's nothing, there's no substance to yourself? So you begin to realize that form is not your true nature. It is you, but your true nature is that your formless awareness. Form comes and goes, but you remain constant. You begin to realize that the individual that you thought you were was not you at all. That the person who you thought yourself to be is just a set of thoughts and beliefs and emotions and memories. And none of that is real. None of it is real. So the other people that you encounter, they're not other people at all, but more expressions of the same consciousness that you are. So everything that you experience, the plants, the flowers, the trees, they're all an expression of the one consciousness. And consciousness is everywhere. It's everywhere, but it's so hard to find because it's disguised as things, as objects, as form. And when you think about it, consciousness is a blank canvas. And if you are going to paint a painting, you'll start with a blank canvas. And when a beautiful painting is painted onto that canvas, the blank state of the canvas is no longer visible. You have the painting which you focus on the contents of the painting. You have maybe a beautiful landscape or birds or water or whatever it is, or people. And you don't think about the canvas below the painting, below the paint that has been painted onto it. The canvas is still there in its original form, but instead, now you're focusing on the images depicted in the painting. So the bird in the painting, it doesn't exist. It's just a portrayal. The grass, the trees, the everything in the painting are just portrayals. They're not real. So if you were to go to an art gallery and you were to look beyond or to try and look back beyond all of the paintings and focus only on the canvas that they're painted on, the canvas beneath all that paint, you'd have a really hard time because you'd be so enthralled with the works of art depicted on each canvas. So that's why consciousness is so hard to find because it disguises itself as things. And we become enthralled by these things. We become enthralled with the form that we experience. And the thing is, none of the things, none of the form is any more real than the bird in the painting. Yes, it is real in terms of we can experience it, but consciousness is the ultimate reality. And when you realize that everything is consciousness, form falls away. It still presents itself as form, but you know the truth behind all of it. You know the reality of it. So a painting still presents itself as a painting, but without the canvas that it's painted onto, it has no existence. Consciousness is the blank canvas that form is painted onto.